Hi, Madison. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So congratulations on the film and premiere, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I was wondering, how are you feeling since the premiere?
I feel really proud of the finished product. I think Kelsey did such a fantastic job being on set and knowing the resources that she had at her disposal. She really made something absolutely incredible with what she had. And yeah, she's a first time feature director, so I didn't really have anything, I didn't really have any expectations. It was a great experience for me personally. It was an experience that I really needed to have. But I'm just really proud of her. I'm proud to be a part of this film. And yeah, I feel just very proud, I think. I loved how it came together. And yeah, I just think she did such a fantastic, polished, really, really strong job. I thought she did fantastic.
Good to hear. And was that your first time in Edinburgh, or
Yeah, it was my first time in Edinburgh, actually. It was.
how was it in general?
I loved Edinburgh. I thought it was fantastic. I would love to go back when the Fringe isn't on. No
Mm.
disrespect to the Fringe. It was just lots of people, and I live in LA normally, so
Mm.
I'm used to being around lots of people. So when I leave
Mm.
LA, it's nice to not have that many people around.
Mm.
But Edinburgh is so beautiful. We went for hikes up to Arthur's Seat. We ate at Oink like every day. I love crackling. I'm sorry if you're vegetarian or vegan, but I li literally crave crackling like
No.
once a week. And to just be able to walk into a shop and get a piece of crackling was
Mm.
amazing. So I loved Edinburgh. I would love to go back when it's like quiet, but we saw the castle. Edinburgh's just incredible. Like we saw this
Mm.
huge big castle that we could just walk up to in Edinburgh Castle. It was just so quaint
Mm.
and gorgeous. I loved it.
I imagine the weather is quite different to LA.
Okay, that is the one caveat. Like, I did not pack for weather that cold. I was looking at the
Mm.
weather forecast before
Mm.
we came to Edinburgh, and it was meant to
Mm.
be, 22 degrees. So I was like, great, that's like jeans and a top, jeans and a jacket. And we got there, and it was 14 degrees and
Mm.
raining every day. So I wore the same sweater that I wore on the plane over here for like 4 days
Mm.
in a row.
Mm. I mean, it's kind of similar to London in a sense.
Yeah,
So
London's cold today.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of because that was also my first time in Edinburgh as well. So in that sense, it didn't really feel like a change in weather or
No,
scenery in that
I heard
sense.
that like the summer here this year has been quite cold.
It has. But anyways, and it's funny to me because I think maybe 5 to 6 years ago, I remember watching Dynasty on TV, and then obviously your character is quite iconic there as Kirby there. And so it's kind of funny that, like, we look at where we are now, and now you got another film that's just out. And so I always wondered, as an actor, seeing your hard work come to life, and especially in terms of cinema when it's on the big screen, does it kick in straight away, or does it take time to settle and think to yourself, just wow, you contributed to the creation of art that people will see, feel, and react to?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's nerve-wracking. Because like you said, I did come from a show where I played a very different sort of character.
Mm.
I started out doing independent films like this, and then I went in the complete other direction and I played this
Mm.
like crazy, kooky, super funny, fun character that, I
Mm.
didn't really have that I didn't have that many like emotional gritty. I mean, you remember the show. Like it's very
Mm.
lighthearted, it's very soapy. So
Mm.
I was so keen when that ended to have an experience like To Kill a Wolf. And I think I feel really proud now it's kind of hit me, the piece of the puzzle that I was in the whole process. But
Mm.
initially I was just terrified. Like on set, I was like, I just hope I'm doing an okay job. Like
Mm.
I hope this works. I hope it comes together. And then when you watch and you see it come together, I obviously we're all each other's biggest critic. And so there's things that I watch that I would do differently now, but not too much, which was a relief.
Mm.
And I feel, yeah, I do feel quite proud, but I think it takes time for that to sink in. I think, you're one piece of a really big machine, and you're only as good as the people around you. And I say that like wholeheartedly. Ivan and I have both, I don't want to say received a lot of praise, because that sounds like kind of up my own ass, but people have been very positive toward Ivan and I, but that was only made possible by Kelsey and the environment that she created. So, I'm really proud to have been a part of it. I feel really proud of everyone and the work that everyone did, because I wouldn't have been able to do what I wanted to do. Ivan wouldn't have been able to do what he wanted to do without the amazing environment that was created by our crew. So you really are just like one piece of a big puzzle, and I think I just feel proud of everyone.
That makes sense. So the other night, I remember Kirsty was messaging me about how our chat earlier that what draws her to adaptations in general is that it's the idea of subverting expectations. And for her, the appeal of adaptations is that the idea of what we think we know, but we change that and flip it into a different angle. So I guess I was wondering, what draws you to adaptations in particular?
Well, it's funny because when I read this script, I never thought too hard about the Red Riding Hood element. I think because, my character's just going through a lot of really difficult, overwhelming things. So for me, I wasn't necessarily drawn to it for the adaptation element per se. I was drawn to it because I wanted to have the chance to play a character like this as an actor and dig deep and exercise some demons on camera. But yeah, I can't say it also was not like initially something I really thought about in terms of it being like a Red Riding Hood-esque spin-off adaptation, however we describe that. I think that was more something that was kind of in the back of Kelsey's mind in terms of like the tone and the visuals, the sound, everything was sort of that more whimsical kind of fairy tale gone wrong element, I think, was more in the tone rather than the characters themselves.
And obviously, you mentioned that the character is all about exercising their own demons. So, but in saying that, what in particular about Danny really appealed to you beyond that?
I think we see stories like this a lot because they're interesting, and I think they make you feel something. And I think I'm someone that, in my own personal life, particularly at that time, I was navigating a lot of, really difficult things and a lot of trauma. And I felt like I could give an honest turn of really what that looks like, not a sensationalized sort of like on the nose, like, oh my God, this young girl is like having a breakdown. Like I wanted it to feel really how it feels in real life when you're going through these things. And yeah, I just wanted the opportunity, I think, to show what that actually looks like.
And Kelsey mentioned that it was Ivan who got in touch with you about the film. Do you mind elaborating on that?
So Ivan and I share a manager.
Mm,
And when I got off Dynasty, I had like
mm,
my laundry list of, this is the kind of project that I want to do. This is the kind of character that I want to play. I kind of want to go back to my roots. I don't want any hair and makeup. I want just like really simple, all about performance. And then
mm,
Ivan had worked with Kelsey previously, and Kelsey sent Ivan the script for To Kill a Wolf, and he loved it and came on to play the woodsman, or the huntsman, but the woodsman. And Lisa read the script and thought of me because I had said like this is the kind of project that I wanted to be a part of. And I read the script and I read with Kelsey, and Kelsey offered me the part. So Ivan and I never met or knew each other until we started shooting, but we share a manager. We still share a manager. So
mm.
we had that connection.
So how was it like working alongside Ivan? Because obviously you had to play strangers in the film that learn to understand each other. And so how did you go about building that kind of strained, but there's some kind of understanding in that relationship?
I mean, it kind of mirrors like real life in a way. Like you're on
Mm,
set with someone that you don't know and you're having to
mm,
tell this like really complicated, dark story that's,
mm,
very heavy. And there's an understanding of like, we're just trying to get through this, but we don't fucking know each other. And,
mm,
um, over time, like Ivan and I really clicked but I think we were both like sussing each other out, very much like in the film, like our relationship
mm,
in real life very much evolved as it did in the film. And we shot like a lot in not fully chronological order, but like definitely in the order of each act. So that kind of natural progression of our relationship was also happening in real life.
mm. And obviously, after the film was finished filming, I was wondering, so when your scenes were finally set to score, what was your reaction to seeing those scenes of yourself?
I saw it for the first time at Edinburgh. So that was my
Oh,
first
okay.
time ever seeing it. Yeah, I didn't see it. Although so weird. Where was I? I was at LAX. Where was I flying back from? I think I was flying back from Cannes Film Festival
Well, this year or?
last year, like literally a month after we had finished shooting it. I went to Cannes Film Festival, not because I
Mm.
love film there, but because there was like a brand that I went with. But
Oh, I see.
I got off the plane and this young woman came up to me and she was like, "Are you Maddison Brown?" And I was like, "Yeah." And
Mm.
she's like, "Did you just shoot To Kill a Wolf?" And I was like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" And she was like, "I am usually a composer or like she was helping with the score on the film and helped
Mm.
score the film."
Mm.
And she was like, I just finished it last week. I just finished scoring it and putting or editing the music, whatever. But she had
Mm.
seen it with the music and she was like, it's really incredible. And I was like, this is so weird. I haven't even seen it. And someone just came up to
Mm.
me at LAX and told me that they've seen it with the music.
Mm.
But the music was incredible. I think it did a lot to create tension and suspense throughout the entire film.
And funny enough, I went to Cannes just recently. Um, so personally, I'm aspiring to become an actor, and I do have some kind of extras work experience as well. So which isn't the same, but it does teach you some things about working on set.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you have any advice to myself and other upcoming actors who want to work towards getting onto on screen.
I think my biggest piece of advice is any creative industry is just inherently unstable. I think a lot
Mm,
of industries, creative or not at the moment, are quite unstable. And I think for me, when I have felt the most fulfilled and when I've seen other people feel the most fulfilled, whether they have a lot of success or not, is creating a really thriving, fulfilling life outside of it and
mm,
having no expectations. Um, and just treating it like not a hobby, but a passion rather than trying to put all this pressure on it and it's like the
mm,
career and it's this part because there's so much out of your control. There's so much that you don't get to decide and you have to be okay with things not going your way and missing out on opportunities a lot.
mm,
And for me, I started a business and I'm very busy with, a lot of other things outside of just acting that
mm,
really fills my cup and then makes me a better actor, makes me happier, more passionate
mm,
about it. And then I do better auditions and
mm,
I'm, more able to focus and switch
mm,
on. I've seen a lot of people who have achieved, incredible heights of success that
mm,
you and I can't even begin to fathom or
mm,
dream of. And they're really unhappy because they've made it the center of their life and it's this
mm,
very unstable thing. And I think the key to navigating that is just treating it like it's this great thing that you love, but you expect absolutely nothing from.
And speaking of other, like, because you're also a brand business owner and a model as well. So I was wondering that I once read that you considered yourself to be a minimalist. And so how do you find that balance as an actor on top of your other creative and business fields?
Look, sometimes it's hard. I would love to sit here and say, like, I found the perfect balance, but
Mm,
sometimes they clash, and sometimes I'm stretched too thin, and sometimes I take on too much. Um, but you know, good problems to have sometimes. Um, I think I look, it's one of those things that when you're an actor, like I said, there's just so much instability that you need to,
mm,
for me anyway, the way that I'm wired, I like to have things on the go. I like to feel like I have goals and things that are, I guess, within reach for me that I can generate myself because that's the way that I'm wired. So sometimes it's too much, but then
mm,
sometimes it's fantastic. And it's just like everything else. Sometimes you go through seasons where it's amazing, and
mm,
sometimes you go through seasons where you're like, oh my God, I literally have no time for myself and I'm pulling my hair
mm,
out. But at the end of the day, it is ultimately rewarding.
mm. And obviously, you worked on Strangerland as well, and with Nicole Kidman. So I was wondering, is there any actor that you personally felt really informed your creative process or your career in general, or that gave you that kind of inspiration?
Who is an actor that I love? I hate questions like this because I always have a list in my
Mhm,
mind. I'm watching something and I'm like, I love
mm,
this actor. And then someone asks me and I'm like, I can't remember. It's like
mm,
it's like I've never watched a television show in my life suddenly. I'm like, I can't remember a single actor's name. Who is someone that I love? Oh, this is gonna really upset me because there's like five and I just can't think. Kate Winslet. I love Kate Winslet.
yeah, really, okay, that's good.
Um, Killian, obviously. Killian Murphy.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, it's gonna annoy me. There's more, but I can't think of any
that's fair. I
right now.
mean, one last question is, do you have any projects planned in the or in the works?
No, I mean, it's a weird time in the industry right now.
Mm,
It's just a weird time after the strikes. And I'm very aware and careful of what projects I will, you know, look at and what projects I
mm,
want. So it's a weird time. So no, not yet, but like I'm fine with that because, you know, when it happens when it's meant to.
mm, that's fair. I mean, well, I just want to say I wish you the best of success and fortune with your career, and I really look forward to what you have in store for us next as a film fan.
Thank you.
It
Thank you
was
so much.
lovely chatting with you.
Nice to chat to you too.